Good evening, everyone. Buddha Dhamma Mandela Society is pleased to welcome Bhante Dhammapala to give a series of 4 talks at our center. Bhante Dhammapala is the founder and abbot of Brahmavihara Monastery and Retreat Center, Melaka, Bodhivana Monastery of Sungai, Pelek, and the Center of Mindfulness in Hong Kong. He spent 15 years studying Buddhist philosophy, Pali and Sanskrit literature in Sri Lanka and Hong Kong. In 2009, he obtained his doctorate of philosophy in Buddhist studies under the supervision of Professor Venerable K.L. Dhamma in the University of Hong Kong. Bhante travels frequently to conduct meditation retreats, Dhamma talks to all age groups, as well as Dhamma camps for youth and teenagers. For this evening topic, Bhante will speak on meditation versus health, longevity, and illnesses healing. Bhante, please.
So good evening, Namo Buddhaya. So thanks to Buddha Dharma Mandala Society for inviting me to share a series of Dhamma talk. Tonight, I'll be giving the talks on the meditation versus health, longevity, and illness healing. Okay, and this is a very heated topic, I believe, right? Especially talking about the practical aspect of meditation, right? So in the past several decades, right, Buddhist teachings and practices have been quite popular in the West. I think mainly because from the scientific perspective, right, Buddhist mindfulness practice has been proved very effectively, right, as one of the healing power, right, and of course this has helped the spread of the Buddhist mindfulness practice in the West, right, and though we said, right, in the early Buddhist teachings, right, the Buddha and always taught us, right, his teaching is mainly aimed at the liberation from the samsara, right, to liberation from all the dukkha, right, and the cessation of suffering, and ultimately the liberation of nirvana. Yeah, and yeah, today we are looking at a few of these sutras. They are not much dealt with, particularly because of the meditation, right, between the meditations and the health, right. Not many sutras deal with this, and yeah, because of this, I think I will quote several sutras, right, that are related to these, the meditations and these, the health, right, that I'm going to share with you, and right, and also we look at some of these sutras that we are going to deal with, right. They are particularly, the sutras taught to the sick person, right, the sick person, right, to cultivate the kind of the mindful meditation, right, particularly the 4 foundation of mindfulness and the attainment of the first jhanas, right, and even the sutras like Gmanand Sutas, right, or even the sutras like these Janga Sutas. These are the sutras that for Theravadas we used to chant, to cure, to heal the illnesses. Not many sutras like this, yeah. But in Theravada, you look at the Mahayana, they have this medicine Buddha, right? So, people pray to medicine Buddhas, to get the illness. Then how about for Theravada? I think this is something very practical, right? Then, yeah, Theravada, why not we have, right? So we are going to look at several of these sutras and why they are so important, right, in our practice, right? And okay, so these are the few sutras that we're going to look at. Yeah, these are the few sutras like the Chankama Sutras, Anathapindika Sutras, Girimananda Sutras, and Pindapada Parisuddhi Sutras, right? So these are the sutras, right, dealt with meditation, right, with recovery from the illness, right? And of course, we will also look at, these, some of these sutras, right? Talking about, the clear faculties and what they call a bright complexion, right? In the bodies, right? So yeah, we will look at some of these suttas. So the terms that I use is the science of the body and mind, science or body and mind medicine, right? Nowadays, in the West, people regard meditation as something very important, right? In the aspect of curing their disease. As a result, they have these very clear faculties and the and pure and bright complexion. Yeah? And these are the sutras that we're going to look at. You see, so meditation doesn't not only make you have a clear mind, but also to make your body as well, right? Very clear and very pure. Like you have a very good complexion, right? Then eventually, bring the well-being of the body. Okay, so now we straight go to the sutras, right? Yeah, and the first one is the Chankama Suttas, right? The Chanka means the walking meditation, right? And very straightforward. It says, there are 5 benefits of walking meditation, right? Like you attend the meditation retreat, you used to walk, right? And not only walking, but you're also sitting also, right? And the Buddha says very clearly in the Anguttara Nikaya, right? There are these 5 benefits, right? And the first one is one becomes capable of journey, right? And what does it mean, right? It means one who practices walking meditation, right, can walk for a long distance, isn't it? So this is the first benefit you got from the walking meditation. And the second one becomes capable of striving. And the striving here refers to the endurance, right? Endurance, right? It means that, you will endure the kind of exertion, right? And the gaining strength, right? In all your tasks, right? And it means that the experience that you learn from your walking meditation, right? What do you call it? It can carry over to other forms of activities that require a lot of strength and that require a lot of endurance. It means that one who go for walking meditation, he doesn't simply give up, halfway. He will endure, to the end, right? And the third one is one becomes healthy. Okay, definitely when you talk about healthy, means that he is free from disease, right? And becomes more healthy, right? Like, I don't know whether you have attended or you have attended any of these Mahayana, usually when we attend the Mahayanas, okay, what they call Uposatthas days, right? Usually after lunch, they will ask you to go for a walking meditation. I think the term is called, what do you call this? They call it 跑香啊，跑香。Right, 跑香, you see. So yeah, I find that very one is very interesting, right? 跑香. In fact, Theravada also the same, right? So after eating, it helps the digestions and they make you stronger, right? Then make you more healthy. And then another one, what one has eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted is properly digested. Okay, so it means that one who has practiced walking meditation, right, can improve digestion, right? So of course, if you feel after eating, the kind of feeling of bloated, right, or it's very, very full, and after a meal, you can go for a walking meditation, right? And the fifth one is concentration, aim, attain through walking meditation is long-lasting. So that is to say, right, if you want to sit for a longer periods of time, right, in your sitting meditation, right, then you have to have, carry on your walking meditation also. For example, like in some of the meditation center, right, they encourage you walk for 1 hour, then you should definitely, sitting for 1 hour as well, right? So it gives you a lot of strength and stamina. Okay, so these are the benefits of walking meditation, right? Whatever you call it, sitting, walking, they are still considered as meditation. All right, now we look at another suttas, right? It's called the Melaka, right? This is Milanto Wenjing, Melaka. And in this Melaka talks about 28 good qualities of meditation. Okay, So basically, this is a conversation between the King Milinda and Bhikkhu Nagasena, right? And the king asked Bhikkhu Nagasena, since we talk about the meditation, do you find any benefits of walking meditation? Then the Bhikkhu Nagasena said, why not? Yes, there are altogether 28 good qualities of meditation. Of these 28 types of walking, this meditation, two dealing with the health, dealing with the health. And here is that give him long life, all right? Ayong vadheti. So you want to lead a long life, right? Then go for meditation. Indeed, that's quite true, right? And then another one is endow him with power, right? And of course, power means like it's giving you strength, right? It gives you strength. So yeah, so it's indeed, right? So you go through a meditation, it gives you so much benefits. And not only that, also ultimately, we talk about the realization or the cessation from all the suffering, right? Okay, another quite important suttas is Gmanand Sutas. Usually, when someone's sick, right, we Buddhist monks used to chant these Gmanand Sutas, right? And these Gmanand Sutas deal with 10 types of perception. In fact, these are the 10 types of meditation, right? And the story background is this: the Gmananda, he was a bhikkhu, ordinary bhikkhu, right? And one day he was sick, right? And the Buddha encouraged Ananda, right, to visit Gmananda and speak to him these 10 perception, right? And if we look at these 10 perception, these 10 sanya are basically 10 types of meditation. And of course, we know that in the early suttas, there are so many types of perception, so many types of meditation dealt with. But why only these 10 perception are dealt with, right? Why not other types of meditation, right? And this is what we are going to look at, okay? Yeah. So these are the sequence, right? So we had to look at the sequence. So if we look at this, then we know that the very first one, the first and the second and the third and the fourth, these four are basically deal with the distortion, right? It means that our mind, our thought are having a lot of wrong views. It means a distorted perception. Like a lot of people got sick because his mind full of illusion, full of wrong views, you see. Okay, so you see what the Buddha straight by saying that, okay, in order to cure him, the Buddha wants Gmananda, right, to see by himself, right, this undistorted truth, right, in each of these 10 perceptions. Okay, so when seeing this undistorted view, right, the Gmananda's, right, his mind will become joyful. So the Buddha encouraged, right, Gmananda, right, to recognize and accept all things are changing, right? And especially these 4 types of view. We look at these 4 types of view, right? It's the perceptions of impermanent, okay? And the third one, the second one is a perception of non-self, right? The third one is a perception of unattractiveness. And the fourth one is the perception of danger. Okay, so we are going to look at it afterwards. So these are the 4 types of the views, right? Distorted views. In Buddhist terms, right, there is a term for it. It's called the defilements abandonable through seeing. I don't know whether you get my word. It means that this type of practice need to we cultivate the vipassana, right? We need to cultivate the vipassana to overcome these upside downness views, right? And it's quite true that if our mind having a lot of these distorted views, we're liable to get sick, right? For example, you walk in the night, right, along the quiet street, right? Then you have a lot of fear because you think that then you become very sick, your energy level become very low, right? And then you're liable to get sick, this kind of thing, you see. So a lot of problems come because people say that, or let's say like the house are haunted by ghosts, right? Then then when you stay in this place, or people say that, oh, then you fall sick, right? Because you have a lot of distorted view, you see. So that you see the Buddha straight by saying that you fall sick because you have a lot of wrong views, right? Wrong views. Okay, so we're going to look at it. And then the fifth one, you see the perceptions of abandoning. When you talk about the abandoning, here is talking about the greed, hatred, and delusion, right? So these are the types of defilements that to be abandoned through the repeated cultivation. So there's a term for these types of defilements. It's called defilements abandonable through cultivation. Okay, so you see the first five are deal with the defilements. The reason we get sick because we have defilements. Okay, and these defilements are of two categories. One is a cognitive aspect of defilement. It means that we're sitting wrongly. There are another types of defilements to do with the habitual tendency, right? The habits, like it's up here, the habits. Okay, so if we are not deal with this kind of defilements, we're liable to get sick. We fall sick easily, right? Right? And then another types like the 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the experience of nirvana. Right? Experience of nirvana. You see, we Buddhists talk about the nirvana, right? And everybody will ask you, hey, what is your ultimate goal, right? Ultimate goal. Then we would say, our ultimate goal is the liberation, from all the suffering, i.e. nirvana. But we ask them, what is nirvana? They said, I also don't know. And then you ask them to go to Nirvana, they're very scared because they said, oh, going there is nothing. Yeah, it means that there you find a lot of distortion, in our perception. You see, so the Buddha said, don't wait until that day to come, right? Even in the meditation, we can experience Nirvana, right? So once you have that kind of very subtle, wonderful experience, then you have that aspiration, right, to attain nirvana. One who has tasted the experience of nirvana, he will free from all kind of sickness, right? Okay, so this is very important. Just like in the Mahayana, right? Mahayana, they are very straightforward saying that, okay, I want to go to the Pure Land, right? Pure Land is the ultimate goal, right? Hardly you hear Mahayana saying they want to go to nirvana. Right? They will say that they want to go to the Pure Land. Yeah. So you see, they are very sure that when they die, they will go to the Pure Land. So they have so much faith, right, in the Pure Land. Okay. So similarly for our Theravada, though we don't have the ideal of the Pure Land, but the concept, the idea of attaining nirvana is there, right? So don't wait until that day, right? Even now, every now and then when we have that experience, we can experience this nirvana. How to experience it is a perception of dissipation, the cessation of non-delight in the entire world, and the impermanent in all conditioned phenomena. You see? So these are the several aspects of the experience of nirvana. Right? And the last one, after saying all these things, we come back to the mindfulness of breathing. Something very concrete. Okay, without practice, you cannot fulfill all these things. Okay, so you can see that the mindfulness of breathing is very important, right? It dealt with the samatha and vipassana. I think we are going to deal with this in our next lesson, okay? And then, this is the one, you look at it. You look at the first four, right? The perceptions of impermanent non-self, the unattractiveness and dangers. They are dealt with the vipassana training. That's why the vipassana is very important, right? Through the vipassana training, right, we correct the four upside downness of view, right? The distortion of permanent view, the distortion of the self view, right? The distortion of the attractiveness, the distortions of happiness. Like we Chinese say, 常乐我净, four upside downness view, 常乐我净. So it means that the first one is the distortion of permanent. Right? The Buddha said everything is impermanent, right? But we have the distortion of permanent. Okay, so this is the first wrong view. And the second one, the Buddha said, everything is non-self, but we have the distortion of self, right? Distortion of self. And the third one is the Buddha said everything is unattractiveness, right? 净嘛, unattractiveness, 不清净, you see that we have the distortion of attractiveness, that we got attracted to something, right? And the fourth one is the distortion of pleasure, right? We have distortion of pleasure with regard to what is dukkha. The Buddha said everything is dukkha. right? But we have the dissolution of the pleasure. Okay, then how to practice, huh? With regard to getting rid of these four upside downest views. Right? That's why we find this many suttas, there are this perception of impermanent, right? How is the practice? The Buddha says, okay, you can contemplate impermanent, right, in the five aggregates, right? You know, five aggregates, right? The rupa is impermanent, right? The feeling is impermanent, you see, etc., etc. The perception or ideation, or the the conditioning process, right? Or the mental formation, okay, and the consciousness, they are impermanent, okay? So you can do this kind of contemplation. Huh? And the second one, and how to do the non-self. And we can further extend, you know, with the contemplation of the 12 sense spheres, right? For example, you know, the 6 sense organs with their corresponding, you know, 6 objects. For example, we have to train, the Buddha taught us and train us, right? We can contemplate, you know, the eyes is non-self, right? And then the corresponding object of eye is what? So it's a matter. So matter is also non-self. Like that, you contemplate. So these 12 sense bases, right? So these are all vipassana training. Okay, and the third one, the perception of unattractiveness. And we're talking about the unattractiveness, you know, the Buddha taught us, what's the method? The 32 parts of Asubha Bhavana, right? You know Asubha Bhavana? Asubha means the loathsomeness, okay, unattractiveness. Now imagine that, you know, we divide the body into 32 parts. Is there any notion of self there? No. And then furthermore, you see our body is full of impurities. Okay, yeah. So in this way, right, we can get rid of this what do you call the perception of the unattractiveness. Okay. Then the fourth one is the perception of danger. Right? Perception of danger. Okay, when you talk about the danger, right, adinava, the perception of danger, you see, our body, right, is the source of pain and danger, right? And our body has all kind of ill and affliction, right? And all kind of diseases, right? So through this way, you know, we don't really attach to our body, right? So because we know that the body is full of all kind of pains and dangers. So in this way, we don't really cling to the body, right? So in that way, so through these 4 practices, we can get rid of the 常乐我净, these 4 distorted views. Okay, and the 5th one is the perceptions of abandoning. You look at that, it's a defilements abandonable through cultivation, is removal of sensual thought, ill will, and the harming thought. So this one, in the list of you know, the right intention, right, the samma sankappa. Yeah. So the first one is the right view, right? The second one is the samma sankappa. So the first 5 deal with the wisdom aspect of the Four Noble Truths, right? So you can see it's very important, right? And then 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the perception, right? Training our minds to incline to the experience of nirvana. As a Buddhist, right, we have to incline our mind to nirvana. We cannot run away from nirvana, right? It's like if you have believed in the Christianity, right, you believe the God, right? Then you incline your mind towards, you know, the God, right? But in Buddhism, there's no such concept of God, right? So we incline our mind towards the realization of nirvana. So these are the experience of nirvana. Okay, so for example, you know, after the meditation, you know, you experience, you know, something, dispassion. So this is a very good experience of nirvana. So you're inclining your mind to the experience of nirvana. Similarly to the cessation. Right here, the cessation, Nirodha Sanya, referred to, you know, the cessation of the suffering. Okay, so the destruction of the craving, right? And the cessation from all the suffering. So these are very good subtle experience. And then another one is non-delight in the entire world. You don't really attach to all this world, because your experience of nirvana, you have to get away from, the samsara, right? So you're inclining your mind to the experience of nirvana. Similarly to the impermanent in all the conditioned thing, right? That's why you have, not to say nirvana is permanent, because these are just words. And is, of course, we don't say nirvana is permanent. You see, these are just a reality. You think that this world is is very impermanent. Whatever is of the what they call rising and falling. You see, they are of the nature of cessation, right? Rising and falling. They are. You see, so we want to get rid of all these things, right? So we want to attain nirvana. Okay, so nirvana is stay away from all these things. Okay, so these are the experience. And after this, okay, the Buddha said, come back to the meditation. Come back to the very tangible one. So come back to the mindfulness of in and out breathing. Okay, so and breathe. I think that's good enough for your understanding. So someone who has meditated, right? I believe can stay away from all kind of sickness. Right? And now we look at another suttas, right? It's Anathapindika Suttas. So this sutta is this. So one day, the householders, Anathapindika, I think you know who is he. Anathapindika, he's a great supporter. He's a great supporter of Buddhism, right? So one day he was sick also, right? And he suffered. And he asked his servant, right, to invite Venerable Sariputta's, right? And of course, out of compassion, Sariputta's accepted the invitation and visit Anathapindika. And and then you see, so what Venerable Sariputta taught to Anathapindika? Yeah, the Venerable Sariputta remind the Anathapindika this four object of indestructible faith. It means that seeing in himself the experiential confidence in the Buddhas. Okay, seeing in himself the experiential confidence in the Dhamma, in the Sangha, and seeing in himself the ethical conduct loved by the noble ones. Okay, the ethical conduct means the morality. Morality. Imagine that if you have observed very well in your Vinaya, you keep Vinaya so well, right? When you fall sick, right, you can recollect, wow, in the past, all the while I have been observing very well the ethical conduct. When you think of all these things, you feel very good, you feel very happy. So that kind of joys that you experience can overcome the sickness. I believe that kind of joys is very important. That's why as a Buddhist, we practice meditation, not for other things, but to give rise to the joys. To me, at the end, you will see, eventually I will lead you to see why this is very important. That is the joys, because the joy is like the antibiotic, a spiritual antibiotic. Imagine that when you have so much stress in your life, when someone just give you a smile, right? You feel all your problems, difficulties solved, right? Even family also. If husband and wife keep quarreling for no reason, but if one, if the husband can just give wife a smile, then they solve every problem, isn't it? So that kind of smile is very important, to overcome a lot of, the human relationship, and even to cure, this physical illness. Okay, so then of course when you look at these Sariputtas, right, he came, to see the Anathapindika. Anathapindika was there very sick, when someone come to see him, he was very happy. I used to, a lot of people invited monk, to go for blessing, But after seeing us, they said, they feel good. Once they feel good, they say, oh, my sickness now recovered. I think that recovery of sickness is because feeling good, isn't it? They need someone to see them when you see. Furthermore, when you talk about the Buddha, 哇，佛陀都嚟見我咁樣，哇，冇病，真係冇病㗎啦，開心死啦。So it's like that. So it's very important. So these are the four things, right? So yeah, usually when we go and see the sick person, right, we will chant the ATP. So try to remind him, to instill faith in him, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And another one is morality. Yeah, sometimes when of course we have to face the impermanent. One day we will come, right? A lot of people have scared, when the day to come, right? Because first thing, they never practice, right? And they never practice good conduct, right? In the name of Buddhist, but they never, cultivate well, right? But as a good Buddhist, right, from the beginning, right, well, you have practiced so well, right? Observe a very good 5 precept. The moment that you are now, waiting the day to come, right? But when you think of all these things, right, you feel so much joy that you have no regret, right, in your practice. Once you don't have any regret and feeling joys, right, that you have so much of these good qualities in your practice, then eventually, all these things will, all your sickness will solve, and you will recover from it, I believe. And you have no regret. And not only that, also, the Sariputtras also analyze the 10 factors, right? It means that remind him, right, and seeing in himself the right view, right thought, right speech, right action. So all these things are the noble effort path, plus the 9th one is the right knowledge and the right freedom. Okay? Then the householders, after listening to all these teachings given by the Venerable Sariputtras, he was completely recovered from the pain. Okay? Yeah. So when we go, that's why, people don't like us to recite, especially a lot of people, they don't understand, or sometimes the old people, they don't want to listen to Amitofo, The reason why, because they said,你念阿彌陀佛係咪要我早啲走啊嘛，快啲走啊嘛？They have that kind of wrong misconception. But of course, in the early sutta, there is no such teaching of reciting Amitabha, but we remind himself, okay, of all these teachings of the Buddhists. Okay, yeah, and you look at these teachings, they are basically deal with the meditation. Okay, so you can see the importance of meditation in these regards. Okay. And all right. We have seen, right, earlier, right, in several suttas, right? And the suttas deal with these what they call different types of the defilements, and then the method, right? So next we are going to see several suttas, right, that helps to improve the health of the body, right, to help the sick, right, to end the suffering of the bodies, or even to cure the diseases. And right, so we will look at how meditation as a training of mind can improve the physical health, right, and even to cure the disease, right. And you find these words like clear faculties and the pure and bright complexion. Okay? This phrase is very often occurred in the Pali Suttas, right? And yeah, this is what I call it the body and mind medicine. I mean, this is my term, right? Because you look at this as meditation, right? They basically provides a very complete theoretical explanations of the samatha and the vipassana's meditation, especially the healing of the physical, the illness. Okay, so not just only the end of suffering, but it can cure the physical illnesses, okay, through the practice of calm and insight, samatha and vipassana. So we are going to look at a few of these suttas. Okay, the first one is the clear faculties and pure and bright the complexion, right? So this is, I think I quote several suttas, right? You see, these suttas all deal with the meditation, right? Although we said Buddhist meditation is essentially a training of mind, but to some extent, it can influence and change the physical appearance of the meditators, okay? And the words that occur is clear faculties and pure and bright complexion. Right? So we look at the first sutta, the Venerable Sariputtras visited Venerable Anuruddha. They were two great disciples of the Buddhas. And after exchanging with each other, right, Sariputtras said to Anuruddha, "Oh, my dear friend, Awuso Anuruddha, right? Your faculties are so clear, your complexion is so pure and bright. What kind of meditation are you usually practicing these days?" You see, among the disciples, when they meet each other, they would ask, "Wow, 今日你睇到直，我都唔錯啊，係咪？你又修咩法啊？咁樣。You know, if someone asks you, you're not practicing well, then 拍死啦，so they will say that 你今日有修咩法咁樣嚇 you see, because after seeing your complexion is so nice, your faculties are so clear, right? So what type of meditation are you practicing? The Anuruddhas replied, they said, these days I meditate with my mind firmly established in the 4 kinds of meditation, mindfulness meditation. What for? All right. I meditate observing an aspect of the body, feeling, of mind, and of Dhamma with keen, aware, and mindful. In this way, I get rid of desire and aversion for the world. Okay, yeah. So these are the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Okay, so this is in one aspect, right, in the Sanghata Nikaya. Yeah. And the second one, right, deal with the Vivekaja Suttas, the minimum bound of seclusion. Yeah, so this is, the background of this sutta is this. At one time, Venerable Sariputtras, right, was saying in Savatthi, okay, Savatthi. Then, let me see. Oh, okay. Then the Venerable Ananda, right, said to Sariputta, said, Reverend Sariputta, right, your faculty are so clear, your complexion is so pure and bright. What meditation were you practicing today? So the same question is asked, right? So usually among disciples, when they see each other, so these are the questions they put forth. Then you have to answer, right? Then the Reverend, I secluded from the sensual pleasure, secluded from the unskillful qualities, right? I entered and remained the first absorption, right? This first absorption means I enter into the first jhana, right? Which has the rapturous and bliss bond of seclusion, while placing the mind and keeping it connected. I think we remember that the Buddha, while he was striving in the forest, right? And later on, he gave up all these practices because he regarded all these ascetic practices are fertile practice, right? So fertile, right? So he gave up all these things. Well, he was thinking, how should I continue with my practice? He was thinking that when he was young time, right, following his father's attending the flying ceremony, right, he has experienced the first jhana. So with that kind of very good experience, very soon he take out the object, he take out the practice, and then he attained the Buddhahood. Okay, so you see that the attainment of first jhana, the jhana experience is very important, right? So someone who has experience of these things, you can see, there is a transformation in the body and mind. Particularly can change the physical appearance of the person, right? Okay, so this is the one. Okay, now we look at another one, right? The Buddha. So this is okay, let me see. The purification of, this is the conversation between the Buddhas and Sariputta. So it says, one day, Sariputta came out of the retreat, right? And he went to see the Buddha, right? So he bowed down to the Buddhas and he sat down at one side. Then the Buddha said to him, right, Sariputta, again the question is that, wow, your faculties are so clear, right? Your complexion is so pure and so bright. What kind of meditation are you usually practicing these days? Okay. So I find it very interesting, you see. A lot of sutras like that. So the exchange, after exchanging, they said, "你今日睇幾好喎，你琴日修咩法咁樣啊？" Okay, then the Sariputta says, "Oh, Bhante, these days I usually practice the meditation on emptiness." Okay, the word is called the Shunyata Vihara. Okay, this Shunyata is not the Mahayana term Shunyata, but this Shunyata Vihara. And what does it mean with this Shunyata Vihara? Then the Buddha replied, he said, good, the sadhu, Sariputta. It seems that you usually practice the meditation of a great man. It means that there is a term for Shunyata Vihara is the meditation of a great man. For emptiness is the meditation of a great man. So it means that the Shunyata Vihara is equated with the meditation of a great man. And what is this? Okay, so this is, I just quote, this is the first one. Okay, yeah, he says that now, what is the meditation of a great man? The Buddha says, a bhikkhu might wish, okay, I usually practice the meditation on emptiness. Also, I should reflect. Along the path that I went for alms, okay, it's collecting alms, along that path, or even you return from the alms, then you can contemplate, you can see in yourself whether any desire, greed, anger, delusion in my heart, or my eyes, okay, seeing an object, okay. If while collecting alms, are you looking around, okay, while you see the flower so beautiful, right? It means that by seeing an object, of that pleasant object, you see, internally there arises a greed in your mind, you see, then there is no more meditation of a great man, right? Okay, so if that is the case, then you should stop it, right? So you have to check that in your mind, there is no such desire, anger, and delusion, okay, or repulsion in the heart, okay? So they should meditate with joys, training day and night in skillful qualities, okay? So similarly, the eyes, ear, nose, tongues, body, and mind, and of course with some other practices as well. So these are the meditation of the great man. It means that you have to restrain your six senses. Okay, so this is what we call. Okay, another one. There are many suttas. I quote only 4, right? Yeah, this is something to do with the deities, right? The deities. This one is from the Sarthya Nikaya. It's from the Aranya Suttas, a serene dwelling in the forest. A certain deities expressed, right, his surprise that this bhikkhu lived such a simple, restrained life, and the appearance is so serene. Right? The Buddha replied, right? It's very short. It said, they do not sorrow over the past, nor do they hanker for the future. They maintain themselves with what is present, hence their complexion is so serene. Oh. So I think that part is very clear, right? Here the teaching of living in the present moment, okay? So because of that, their complexion is so serene. Okay. All right, when we talk about the meditation, right? So since we are dealing with the meditation, so how to meditate, right? And of course, meditation, we really have to put an effort. You really have to prepare yourself, okay? It's just like, you have to warm up a bit in your meditations, and you have to get a suitable place for meditation, right? So you see, in every meditation, the Buddha will start the same thing. Please find a quiet and suitable place for meditation, right? When you talk about a quiet and suitable place for meditation, the Buddha enumerated, said these 3 places that are ideal for meditation. The first one is in the forest. Unfortunately, Hong Kong, Singapore, we don't find forests. But if we have no forest, well, we can create a man-made forest, isn't it? Just like Malaysia now, like my temple Brahmavihara, we are creating a man-made forest. We planted a lot of trees, right? And then they say under the trees, since you have forests, you have planted a lot of trees. Then under the tree is also quite ideal. We don't plant the fruits, durian, this kind of fruits. Okay, so we really plant, the trees. That idea, and less ants also. Okay, then in the empty heart. So these are the three places ideal for meditation. So, all right. So say like if we are practicing the, breathing in and out, right, anapanasati, right? This anapanasati gives a very clear 16 stages of the practices, okay, leading to calm as well as leading to the insight. Okay? So it consists of samatha and vipassana training, right? So you see, I don't know in Singapore, but definitely it's in Hong Kong, right? The mindfulness practice has become very, very popular. Especially MBSR, right? The mindfulness-based stress reduction program. And a lot of research been done, okay? Through the practice of MBSR, you can cure certain diseases, right? Particularly, they talk about the meditation, right? Provides an alternative treatment for people living, for people, what do you call it? For people living with cancer, isn't it? They said that this meditation can provide an alternative treatment, not to say cure, but provides alternative treatment. So this is why these mindfulness trainings have become very popular in the West. But unfortunately, this has become so commercial. You have to pay for it. It means that they are selling the Buddhist teaching. But as a Buddhist monk, we can't do that. We are not selling the Buddha's teaching, right? But on the one hand, you don't, people don't come, right? When someone pay for it, you find a lot of people coming. If you don't charge, people don't come. So you find dilemma here, isn't it? You find, you have to pay, not cheap, in Hong Kong, you want to complete these 8 days, what do you call it? These 8 days mindfulness training, you have to spend over 10,000 Hong Kong dollar. A lot of money. But a lot of people enroll for the course. And then they are very serious, because they pay for it, right? Then they really, meditate. Because you need to meditate at least half an hour every day, or 1 hour. Half an hour to 1 hour every day. Then really make an effort to do it. Right? If everything's so free, no results. Yeah. Okay. So you see, other than we're talking about the meditation provides all kind of treatment, right? Meditation also provides many benefits for general health and well-being, right? For example, like improving the sleep, okay, the quality of sleep, right? And then decrease the the heart rate, right? And even to lower your blood pressure, right? Or someone with a very muscular tension, right? It can help to release the muscular tension, right? Or even to improve mood, right? If you are in a very bad mood, right? Meditation can help to improve it, right? To reduce stress. I mean, these are the direct results, direct benefits from meditation. And you can see that after meditation, if you make an effort, right? Like after 1 hour of meditation, right? You can see a lot of changes in your appearance. And definitely the one that I had mentioned, like, what do you call these, the heart rate, blood pressure, all these things will surely improve. And it's very beautiful. Okay. Last time I attended, one retreat, and then every students were given the, the instrument to test the the blood pressure, and that really proves that after 1 hour meditations, everything back to normal. Even the one with the serious, the blood, what do you call it? Pleasure, they can normalize the blood pressure. So you can see that if we meditate, if we can, maintain the meditation every day for 2-3 hours, morning 1 hour, evening 1 hour, isn't it? The life is full of joys and free from all kind of sickness. Right? Yeah. Okay. So so I listed a few, right? Like cancer treatment. Right? People with stress is liable to get cancer, right? And the stress hormones, chemicals are released in our body when we experience stress, right? So meditation decrease the level of stress hormones, reduce inflammatory factors produced by the body that may affect how we respond to cancers and our healing from cancer. Okay. So here talking about, when when our stress is reduced, okay? So you find that we also lead to a very healthy, what they call the immune systems as well, right? So, or even then they said that with a lot of research done in this is what the research done in the West lah. They said the meditation can decrease the level of stress hormones, right? In people with breast or even with prostate cancer, right? And of course it doesn't mean to cure, right? But they kind of what do you call this? They kind of decrease the level, right? Can continue for quite some time. Right? So imagine that when you continuously meditate for quite some time, like you can really cure, right? Like when I was young time, when I first ordained, I think that was about 25 years ago, right? And then there was one lady, very strong, ladies, and she got the breast cancer, right? And then she quit her job, and then she stayed in the temple because he heard that, okay, you stay in the temple, you meditate, right? You can get your breast cancer cured, right? And she really believed in it, right? So she stayed in our temples and we practiced day and night meditation. She really put an effort in meditation. You can see, the determination. I'm still young. I cannot die like that. So she quit all the jobs and then meditate with us in the temple. And then surprisingly, after 3 months of intense retreats and of course relax in the temple, and then she went to see the doctor. The doctor said, "Now, okay, you don't need to go through the operation already." Isn't it? It's a surprise for her. And then she continued, and still now she's still alive. But whether they can cure or not, I mean, that's another story, but it can prolong. And then of course, things will change. 奇迹出现嘛, huh? So you see a lot of things change. You see, those days in our mother's time, we never heard of the cancer, right? But now so much cancer. I think it's because of our living, with so much stress also. So now I think the temple, like in the Korea, in Japan, there is a program called the Temple Stay Program. So it means that it's very suitable for a city and people to come and experience a very relaxed life in the temple. Brahmavihara also, we provide a kind of self-retreat. People can come to the temple, right? And then they stay, and then they relax, and then they join us for the morning and evening services. And then if the temple is big enough, right, they can move around the temple, go around for walking meditation, and they can sit anywhere. And just be relaxed, okay? And then surrounded by all the tree, with so much oxygen, and then they can even go for what they call, all kind of therapies are offered there. Like for example, you can walk in on the grass. I don't know, it's called the grass therapy. And some other temple, they even provides the tree embrace therapy. You embrace the tree. Okay, you embrace the tree. Yeah, you hug the tree. So you see now, you see a lot of things now. I mean, this is what the city people want. You see, this is what they lack of in their working life. So I think the temples can provide this kind of service, this kind of treatment. So we are looking into these things. So it means that temple is no more a place for monks, but for people to come and to lead a monastic life, to free from all their physical illness. Okay. So that's why the Buddhist mindfulness practice become more and more important in the West. So okay, so now I will go through another important suttas. Yeah, this suttas is deal with okay. I don't know whether you have heard of the Janga. Janga. Yeah, especially in the Sri Lankan tradition, right? When someone fell sick, right, then we will chant the Janga. And when you talk about the Janga, there are these three suttas: Mahakashapa, Mahamoggallana, and Mahachunda Janga. Okay, so the first two suttas, Mahakashapa Janga and Mahamoggallana Janga. Yeah, here talk about the two great disciples of the Buddhists, right? Mahakashapa and Mahamoggallana. They were two great disciples. Right? One day they were sick. They were seriously ill, right? And the Buddha recited these 7 enlightenment factors, and eventually they recovered. Okay, they recovered. You see, sometimes you may ask, why? They are already an arahant. Why we still need to recite Janga, right? Yeah, I see they were already a great arahant, right? And they have already fulfilled, these 7 factors and enlightenment, right? And why we still need to recite Janga, right? Someone asked this question. Yeah, I think we should put these two things differently. You see, though they have already realized the Janga, but when someone felt sick, right? When someone comes to them and recite this Janga, right? While listening to this Janga, right? Their illness get recovered. Many because, by listening to this teaching, they remind themselves, of this Janga. Especially when one was seriously ill, he lost the mindfulness, he doesn't have the joys, right? When someone remind him, right, of these things, or he remind all these things, and very fast, very quickly, he recover from the illness. Okay, so I think this is the factors. When someone come to you, right? Oh, you feel so touched, wow, or you still feel so touched, and that kind of joys that you experience also can bring, and the recovery of the illness. Okay, so, you see the. Okay. You look at another suttas, right? It's Mahachunda Thera. Okay, Mahachunda Thera. Here it says the Buddha was sick. The Buddha was sick, and the Buddha instructed the Chunda, right, to recite this Janga. And when the Buddha heard of this chanting, he also rejoiced at the chanting, right? And he was recovered. Right? You see the Buddha, he was sick, right? So he listened to the chanting, right? So yeah, you look at these Buddhists. Buddhists, believe the power of healing, right? By hearing or by reciting, these Pali suttas. Okay, so what are these suttas? When you look at these suttas, it basically consists of the recollection of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sanghas, right? And the recollection of the morality, right? The recollection of these Janga. These are the common suttas that we usually, Theravada Buddhists usually will recite. Okay, and of course for meditators, for those meditators who have already attained these qualities, right? Definitely a great joy will arise in their mind. So we said that this kind of joys that arises in the mind, right, will bring about, some chemical changes in the body and reduce the pain of the sickness, definitely. So you can see the joy is a key ingredient here, even for the attainment of concentration also. The people cannot, peace their mind, calm down, is because, their mind is not elated, right? So you see, so when we so we had to create the very peaceful environment, so that when we entered into this peaceful environment, eventually we had a kind of rise. Like our sisters, come here, before the class start, you make sure that, the room, very clean, free, you see. So when people come here, listen to Dhamma, they feel very, very happy. Sadhu to you. Yeah, she really make an effort, no? Taking care of others, so that when you come here, you feel very peaceful here. Everything's very clean, you see. So this is quite what they call the determining factors, right? When people come here, advance, they feel that kind of joys in them. When you have that kind of joys, then everything will change. Yeah, similarly, also when we're listening to the Buddha's teaching, when we have that kind of joys in us, right, then our physical illness also will cure. Yeah, something like that. Similarly, if in a meditation we don't have that kind of joy, we can't get concentration. Okay, we can't get concentration. So the key to enter into concentration is that kind of joy. Similarly, in the house also, you see, we are talking about now, in this very busy life, right? We don't have time, to look after the family. I think this is something very wrong, you see. We have to spend some time, to make sure that our house, our environment that we live is very zen. Like you go to the Japanese house, they should have these stone elements, water elements as features of Zen. So when they come back home, looking at the stone, looking at the water, they feel peace, they feel glad, right? And then after coming back, seeing all these things, their mind are free from all the stress and worry. Yeah, isn't it? So this is very important. Yeah, that's why the Japanese peoples, they are very good at leading a very Zen life. Even decorating the flowers also. They have two flowers and one leaf. They spend 2 hours to decorate the flowers. Even the tea also, they have the tea ceremony also, you see. They're making the tea, then they tell you before taking the tea, you have to calm down the body, and then, they have all kind of techniques and preparation, for you to take that small cups of tea after a long preparation, you see. So this is also something to do with the Zen. Yeah. So similarly in meditation also, we really have to prepare. Don't say, don't get attachment lah. Meditate lah. No, we can't. You really have to prepare yourself. The environment that you want to sit for meditation. Like you look at the ancient days, people don't simply meditate. They really have to prepare themselves. Like you look at the ancient days, when they meditate, they will meditate inside the stupas. In the especially the dome types of design. When they meditate, before meditate, they will do a short chanting, right? Then after chanting, they feel peace and calm in the body, and then that helps easiest for them to get concentration. You see, then also they meditate in the cave, right? No, now our Buddhists, I don't know when our Buddhists have become very non-detached already. Come up to end up meditation, no one come along. But why people likes to go to the church, because the church or the buildings are built in such a way, people go there, they feel connected with the God. because the architectural design of the church. When you sing there, you feel, that kind of echo, right? Wow, that kind of vibration of energies. You feel that you are connected with the God, right? And then people like to come to the church, or even similarly, the mosque also. You see, in the dome type mosque, when they chant inside the mosque, they feel they are one with the God. You see, even the Muslim, they will chant like this. You see, imagine that when you put your ear like this, or with this, okay, or this one and with this one, you will see the difference in your chanting. Sometimes when you feel sometimes when you chant, you feel very tiring in your chanting, as if the energy is like flattened. If you do like this kind of chanting, you can see the energies immediately lifted. But usually we don't do that. You do that, what people say, you chant, what do you chant? But when you're doing alone, you try it. They will give you a very special experience. Okay, so we need this kind of experience, because when we are doing chanting is a transmission of energy. Transmission of energy. If you think that our energy cannot be lifted, that is flattened, we want to lift out the energies, then you need to use all kind of methods to lift your energies. Like you can chant in the cave or in the dome types of the building, or even with the hands like this, or we do like this. You can see the energy is transformed. Okay, man. Yeah. So these are the preparation. We really have to prepare like that. If the buildings like this, then we need to have a good sound system. Okay. If the sound system is bad, then everybody seems to chant exhaustedly. Chant. Yeah. So you see, we really have to prepare. Not to say, we don't get attached to it. No. Yeah, because these are the instruments. These are the skillful means, to help the experience in your meditation experience. That helps. All right. Okay, so just now we talked about the joyful power, right? This joyful is a very good medicine, right? That kind of joyful experience, because when we smile, when we feel very happy, that bring about certain chemical exchange, chemical reaction, right, in the body, right, and reduce the pain of disease. You look at in the Abhidhammas, I'm talking about there is the state of mind of an arahat. It's called the smile of an arahat. 阿羅漢的微笑，阿羅漢嘅微笑啊。You see, arahat, they smile, throughout the days. You see, because they are free from all kinds of deformants, and they are so joyful, so peaceful, and that joy experience come naturally, especially when their minds are free from deformants. You can see from the complex that kind of joyful experience. So we have the terms called 阿羅漢的微笑, the smile of the arahat. That is to say, they are free from deformants. You see, the reason we get sick is because we have so much toxic in our body, and that toxics come from the deformants. And the deformant not just only coming from the greed, hatred, and delusion, the deformants also coming from the distorted view. We have a lot of wrong views in our mind, isn't it? Yeah. So in order to overcome all these things, then we have to get rid of deformants. But just now we have seen that, yeah. And of course, one of these things abandon, right, or overcome, then that kind of joys will come. Okay, so that kind of joyful experience will definitely bring, some chemical reaction in the body, and to reduce the pain. Yeah, there is incidents in the commentaries of the Samyutta Nikaya. Is it Samyutta Nikaya or Majjhima Nikaya? This is a commentary. It says that there was a monk, right, who was listening to the teaching. And then he was bitten, right, by a poison snake. Yeah, I think you have heard of it, right? Because these are the very important, story. Yeah, of course, after being bitten by the snake, he experienced what they call a severe pain, right? But he continued, right, to listen to the Dhamma, right? And of course, he contemplated the venom spray, right? And then the pain becomes so unbearable, right? Then at that time, he contemplate his morality, from the day one, he became a monk until now. He contemplate that while he was while he was a monk, right? He maintains a very good morality, right? Right. Then he realized that he has maintained the purities of the morality, right? The kind of joys, the kind of great satisfaction, right, arises, in his mind. So again, I'm talking about the great joys. When the kind of great joys are cause certain chemical reaction in the body, right? So that is to say, right, through this kind of the secretion of these the healing hormones, right, the health factors in the bodies, right? What do you call the health factors in the body activated. I mean, this is my terms, not the technical term, not the scientific term, not the medical term, right? We are using a very lay, very mundane words to understand. Then because of that, right, he's, the pain will be healed, right? So that is because, so if we understand like this also, right, we can think of, we can recollect the virtues of Buddha's Dharma and Sanghas, right? And then you also can contemplate on the purity of your precept. When you contemplate on this, the virtue, sure, you have that kind of joys and satisfaction arises in you. When you have this kind of joys arises in you, right? Then all that kind of sickness, I wouldn't say cured, but at least reduce. Okay, reduce. So as I said, the joys that arises in your body serve as an antibiotic, right? It makes your body heal. Okay, so this is what I'm going to share. That the topics that I shared today. Okay, like ultimately we're talking about the joys. Okay, so yeah, since we have some time left, I wish to talk about the chanting. The chanting. And most of you know that the Pali chanting also has that healing power, right? Because in many places, the Buddha says, if your mind is not concentrated, right, you try to do the chanting, and nobody know about the chanting. And the same question also asked by one of the audience when I was presenting, the topic on the sati and smurti. I'm having a forum with the bhikkhuni children from America on this topic, and then I was sharing with them. Someone asked that from the audience. Since I'm talking about the chanting, is the chanting can heal the sickness? Then I said in the Buddha's teaching, right, that the chanting can help to concentrate your mind. I didn't say the healing can help to concentrate the mind. The Buddha said when your mind is not concentrated, that is also because you can try to use the chanting as part of your practice. Okay, but nobody knows exactly how to chant. In the past, while I was doing my research, we have some other colleagues and students doing this research. The research is whether this chanting can help to improve the sickness of the body. Okay, and of course the result is very, very encouraging. Okay, very encouraging. So like I was asked by one of the student to chant on this Pali chanting, and then surprisingly, while I was doing the chanting, the students were given a set of what do you call cái đi mày cái đi kiểm tra cái đi lỗ bộ đi hả hả no I said I know to test the is it what do you call this the term MRI, is it? Yeah, and then they want to scan the vibration of the brain. See, you see, at our usual pace is like this, like that. Is it? When they listen to the chanting, then they can see that the brain is more stable. It's very stable. Okay, but when you stop the chanting, again it's a like that. So Each students were given a set of these and to test the brain, to see how their reaction of the brains when listening to the chanting. Surprisingly, when I was doing my chanting and the students really pay attention to it, and the result is marvelous. Okay, it's more calm down a bit lah, not to say lah, to calm down a bit, and the result is very encouraging because if you can, through this, the mind is more concentrated. I mean, this is what the Buddha says, right? When your mind is not concentrated, right, you can do the chanting. But again, different people chant differently. And then to some people, their way of chanting can be very stressful. Then again, come back to the skillful means then. So when we talk about the chanting, like I don't know whether you have listened to my class, I'm talking about the 5 sound system. And another one is the harmonizing sound. Harmonizing sound is very uniquely Indian sound. It's like there's a sound, right? There's a sound. We Chinese English no such word, but this is very Indian. And they consider this sound as the sounds of universe, and the sounds coming from the universe. The reason the universe now become very stable is because of these sounds. Okay, so okay, that part, and then you had the 5 sounds. The sounds coming is articulation from 5 different parts of the mouth, right? You had the sounds of guttural, holong, like ga, gaha, ga, gaha, okay, you can feel that there is a vibration of the guttural. Okay, the sounds articulated from the throat. And then you have the what they call the palatal sound, right? Ja, jaha, ja, jaha, nya. Sounds coming from the palate. Okay, and you have the sounds coming from the cerebral sound, right? Like da, 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 na. And then you have sounds from the palatal sound, because palatal, the dental sound. Dental sounds like da, 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 na. And you have the labor sound, right? Ba, baha, ba, baha, ma. Okay, so these are the 5 sounds. Okay, together with the I call it the harmonic sound or the sound of the universe, that it makes a complete, very peaceful sound system. Okay, for example, of course in Theravada we don't have the Om and Hom, right? But we have a lot of chanting, those end with sound, right? Like Buddhang Saranang, right? Dhammang Saranang, Sanghang Saranang. You got it? Gacchami Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Yeah, so I'm using the 5 sounds. Okay, those ended with sound, right? You have to really articulate it properly, and then the sounds articulated from different parts of your mouth, right? You have to articulate it properly. When you are reciting like this, yeah, you also apply the mindfulness and awareness, because you have to chant properly, and then you know that by this chanting it can can calm down your mind. If you chant like this, you can feel that after the chanting, you feel so peace in the mind, because there is a resonance. There is this energy vibration, and that energy is a very positive energy. It consists of these 5 sounds and bring about the balance of the body and mind. Yeah. Okay, so don't ignore the chanting, but you have to chant properly. And then you also have to don't regard the chanting can bring you all kind of what do you call it? People said I have to chant this, then I can be free from this. They kind of free from all this is because there is this the good energy in the body. Okay, Like, for example, you'll be free from, the poison, free from enemies, free from this, free from that. Or you even have a good sleep at night. You don't have any bad dreams, okay, or no nightmare. That is because you have a very peaceful and very soothing energy around your mind, you see. So I have that belief. So you see, with this kind of proper chanting, you can easily attain the meditation. Like someone asked me, should I chant before chanting or chanting or after chanting after meditation chant? You see, like there is a types of meditation, right? We are talking about, someone said, okay, after chanting, when you come out of chanting, you can radiate the loving kindness. There is a chanting after meditation. But for a beginner, I would suggest chant before meditation. You see, like there is these 4 types of protective meditation. Have you heard of that? 4 types of meditative, protective meditation, like the loving kindness meditation, and the recollection of the Buddhist, and the Asubha Bhavana, and the recollection on the death. These are the 4 types. You see, a lot of people have so much fear, right? That's why we have to chant these 4 types of meditation. You have to chant these suttas before you meditate, at least to overcome that kind of fear, right? We all fear of death, right? Then the Buddha encouraged us, okay, chant, we recollect on the meditation on death to overcome that kind of fear, right? And there is this method of chanting. Instead of just, chanting like that, but we chant it properly. They require certain skills of chanting, okay? Or even the Itipiso, so recollection, the virtues of Buddha, right? Not just only Itipiso, Bhagava, Alahan, Sammasambuddho, Vichachalana, Sampanno, Sugato. You don't have the feeling. You have to chant with mindfulness and awareness and with understanding of meaning. And not only that, also, you have to have a very clear object of your chanting. For example, the recollection of the Buddha. Then you imagine that there is a Buddhist in front of you. It's a very clear and bright complexion. And then you understand each and every word, okay, with mindfulness and awareness, and with understanding. So when you chant like that, then, then the whole chanting becomes very different. And of course, you have to chant properly. Not just for the sake of chanting, chant. You chant properly, like, Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Instead of buddho, buddho vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anodaro purisadam masarati satta deva manosanam buddho bhagavati. And then come back to your breath. You can see there is a settlement of the breath. You become more peaceful. Okay? And then after a while, continue again. All right? Yeah. So this is a mixture of chanting and meditation. So this is what I call the protective meditation. Protective meditation. So when you chant like that, it enhanced, it strengthened your faith, your devotion in your practice. So in a way, it's like when you are traveling alone in the dark, right? You don't have fear, right? Because the Buddha is with you. Okay. So you see, meditation is not just only diam diam do, but it has a lot of combination. A lot of combination. That kind of rehearse, that kind of remind yourself of these qualities of the Buddhas. In a way, it's like strengthen our devotion to overcome our fear, to overcome the fear of death. You see, so all this has the enhanced the power, in us. Okay, so this is what I call the meditation, as part of the meditation. Okay, not just meditation 唔知做乜鬼啊，lima and then people all suddenly disappeared. Hey, where are they gone? You see, in our Theravada, it's like that. You see, people are not so interested in meditation because they don't know what they are doing there. And our meditation is so fast and then no melody. 好悶咯，練下就好想瞓覺咁。Yeah. So you think that meditation is chanting is a form of meditation. Okay. So if you can combine the meditation, chanting with meditation, this is marvelous. And of course, remember, chant with 5 sounds. I don't know, even you try to locate from the websites, there's no such thing, but in Mahayana, they emphasize a lot of it, and a lot of researchers now have done that also. Yeah, we have come across this 5 sounds, but nobody know what it is. Like Mahayana, they have the 五会念佛, you know, 五会念佛. What is meant by 五会? Nobody know what is 五会, you know. Then that remind me of the 5 sounds. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think that's good enough for our today discussion because 2 hours, almost 1.5 hours. Okay. As a closing chant, yeah? So this is from the Dhammapada verse, the first and the second verse of Dhammapada. Mano po bhangama dhamma mano seta mano maya manasache padutena vasati va karoti va tato nang dukamang veti Jagang va vahato padang mano po bang gama dhamma mano seta mano maya manase che pasanena vasati va karoti va tato nang sukamang veti chaya va anapayini. All things are proceeded by mind. Mind comes first. They are made of mind. If one speak or act with a negative mind, suffering follows. As the wheel of the cart follows the foot of the ox. All things are proceeded by mind. Mind comes first, and they are made of mind. If one speak or act with a positive mind, happiness follows, like a never departing shadows. Akasat tajabomata deva naga mahedikam punyantang anumodituan chirang rap kantu buddha sasanam akasat tajabomata deva naga mahedikam punyantang anumodituan chirang rakantu desanam akasat tajabomata deva naga mahedikam punyantang anumodituan chirang rakantu mang paranti etavata cha am he sampadang
Punya sampadang Sabe Devam Sabe Buddham Sabe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampatisiddhya Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu